Chosen one, I want to talk about mistakes. And I know some chosen ones out there are probably like, how could I be a chosen one? Like, I have all these signs, I'm experiencing everything. Everything I hear, I'm experiencing it. I have to be a chosen one, but I've made so many mistakes in the past. I know y'all thinking that, but that's your flesh that made mistakes. You still have God in you, you still have the spirit in you, but your flesh is still going to make mistakes. It could be a horrible mistake that you made in the past. It could be something like really bad that you did in the past. But that doesn't matter because if you take away the flesh, this is what I believe. If you take away your flesh, you are like Christ. Your spirit is Christ. But I ask you this question right here. When you did do bad things, right? When you were living in sin before you knew you were chosen, or even now, how do you feel afterwards? Don't you kind of feel bad? Don't you feel like you can't really get away with just doing like bad things, or you try to be conscious of your words and the things that you do? You can like, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, you don't want to do anything bad, and if you do, you go home late at night thinking about it like, man, I did that wrong, and then your ego starts talking, your fleshly body or whatever starts talking like, man, you can't be a chosen one. Chosen ones don't do this. God, Jesus wouldn't do this. Jesus wouldn't do that. But surprisingly enough, like many of you probably don't know that Jesus, he was without sin, of course. He had a greater mission than any other chosen one. But you're a chosen one just like him. You have the same spirit that he had. He just had a different mission. But he wasn't perfect. I don't know why people think that he's perfect. He was without sin, like I said, but he wasn't a perfect person. As when I say perfect, I mean like he was tempted with temptations. He would trip and fall. He would bleed. He would get mad. He wasn't a nice person all the time. He probably didn't do the right thing all the time. But you can live. It'll be hard for people, but you can live without sin. It'll be very hard, but you can do it. And Jesus did that. But he wasn't as perfect as people think he was, and he wasn't just like a nice man. I don't know why people think that. He was a kind person. Like I said, you think about the things that you do, and like the bad things that you could have done or whatever, or said, and that's how Jesus was. But yeah, he wasn't nice all the time, and you're not nice all the time. Um, the fruits of the spirit doesn't say niceness. It's goodness and kindness. Jesus was a kind man. You are a kind person. No matter the mistakes you made, you're still a kind person. I promise you. So don't really worry. Yes, that was my stomach. If you heard that, don't really worry about your past mistakes. I mean, everybody makes mistakes. That's your fleshy part. You're still a human being. You know what I'm saying? You're still a human. And I'm not saying that you are Jesus or you can compare yourself to Jesus because, like I said, I think he had a greater mission. But I don't think he had a greater mission. He had a greater mission. But when God said he chose you, he put his spirit in you. Then he put his spirit in Jesus. Then, and Jesus was a man just like you were a man. Then, of course, he, probably did things he didn't like to do, said things, what I'm saying? Probably did some horrible things, but he didn't, I'm pretty sure at the time he didn't know better. I mean, Jesus started his ministry. I mean, I believe Jesus knew he was a chosen one. Just like you knew you were a chosen one, you just didn't have a name for it. Am I right? Like, you knew there was something different about you, you just didn't know. And I believe that's how Jesus was. He probably, knew more than probably when we did or whatever, because his mission was so great, like I said. But he didn't start his ministry till he was 30 years old, I believe. I could be wrong. I'm not a Bible scholar. I don't really know the Bible too well. I'm pretty sure he started when he was 30 years old. I'm pretty sure. And so then once he did that, I'm pretty sure he became more aware of himself and his mission on the earth. I think he was a carpenter, right? And so this is the same thing with you pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Just you made mistakes. And I think about the mistakes I made all the time, but that does not mean you're not a chosen one. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know you're chosen by the experiences that other people have. You know you're chosen from when you were just a little kid. How I wouldn't say you got treated horribly. Most of us have, but you got treated differently. Even now, you go to work or something like that. You just get these weird looks. You can look up. You could be sitting down. You could look up, and somebody is staring at you. Like, why are you staring at me? Or or just like me today, like at when I go to work and stuff like that, or when I'm anywhere. It's like people just act different around you. I know it's hard to explain, but if you're a chosen one, you get it. You know what I'm talking about. But people just act so strange around you, so different. Like you just think to yourself, like, is it me? But it's not really you. It's just your spirit. But your ego be telling you sometimes, like I say, when you do bad things, I'm not a chosen one, I'm not this. Maybe I'm just over exaggerating. Like I understand what all these people are saying, but maybe I'm just over exaggerating. That's what you're thinking, but you're not over exaggerating, because you're probably thinking like, why am I so sensitive to things? Why am I so sensitive when my family members act a certain way to each other, but they still get along? But with you, it's like you get a little bit sensitive when they do things. It's just because like that stuff is normal to them. You know what I'm saying? They're normal things. Like they don't look at rejection how you look at rejection. You look at rejection as like somebody rejects you or whatever. And you're like, what did I do? My intentions weren't bad. What did I do? Why don't they see that my intentions are not bad? But they look at it like, well, if you're getting rejected, maybe it's something that you did, because if I'm getting rejected, maybe it's something that I did. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying. If you're a chosen one, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's hard to explain to people that are not chosen. And if you're watching this video and you thinking like, what is he talking about? Then you're not chosen one, you know what I'm saying? And if you're not a chosen one, that's okay. Live your life. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy being a chosen one. I know people probably think that, oh, you're a chosen one, you have it good or whatever. That's not what it is. You probably think of like LeBron James when he says chosen one or something like that. You thinking that, I'm not saying LeBron's not a chosen one or anything like that. I don't know him, but I'm saying like he had a chosen one chat on his back. People think that means that everything is all gravy for you, but no, being a chosen one is actually it could be pretty frustrating sometimes, because you want to go up and like date a girl without them like just looking at you, just I don't know how to explain. They just look at you weird. They don't really mess with you like that. You go to work, you kind of outcast. You be a target everywhere you go. Like everywhere you go, you're a target. Like, and when I say target, I don't mean like I'll make a video on this in the future. But when I say target, I don't mean like they're trying to like cut your head off or kill you or something like that. Sometimes it be like that, but that's not what I mean by target. I mean like targeting you could like you could be sitting there just talking to somebody. One minute you're talking to them, the next minute it's like you're sitting right in front of their face. You sitting right in front of their face. You're asking them a question. They're just sitting there ignoring you, like ignoring you for no reason. It's targeting you, staring at you, picking on you, tweaking around you. You know what I'm saying? Just picking on you. You know what I'm saying? Like just like it's like, what am I doing to deserve this? And then you go home thinking like, okay, oh, sorry, the light went out. You go home thinking that it's something that I did. It's something that's wrong with me, but it's not nothing that's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? It's not. I know, and you just as a troll, you just feel different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is just it's very, 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 very frustrating. But like I said, to close out this video, it's like you're a chosen one, and just because you have done bad things, just because you're not perfect, you haven't said the right thing, don't let that ego take over. That is just your body, your flesh responding to you. You know what I'm saying? It's your ego talking. Just because you've done bad things, just because you're a chosen one, doesn't mean you have to be perfect. You're not going to ever be perfect, because you're not going to be perfect because you have a body. You are a man. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be perfect. But you can still aim to be perfect. You can chase perfection, I guess you could say, in a certain way. But I wouldn't chase perfection. Just try to just be a good person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just be better than you were a year ago. Be better than you were yesterday. So yeah, that's all I have for this message. I'll make another video in a couple days and how you're a target everywhere you go, and what it really means to be a target. Peace out, chosen.